What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Deonte Nash, baby, Diddy is in deep trouble. And the fallout that a lot of industry experts and legal experts predicted is actually happening. What is that fallout? Well, at the end of the day, as much as the low-life, dirty, morally decrepit people, in my opinion, on the Diddy team, either getting paid pennies or begging for $1, right? If you don't feed into their narrative, you would think, or if you feed into their narrative, you would think that Diddy is just this guy that just made a mistake and this and that, instead of what many people have said he was, someone that ruled violently, viciously, illegally, and someone that had a serial problem overstepping people's boundaries, both mentally, physically, and unfortunately, sexually. If you guys don't remember Deonte Nash, he was one of the key witnesses in the Diddy trial. Baby, he did a phenomenal showing of truth in his testimony. It was one of the few people that the Diddy side could not pick apart. He told harrowing stories of abuse, and he has just filed suit in Los Angeles, right? He has just filed suit in Los Angeles to actually hold Diddy accountable for also violating him. You guys, let's get into this. This is tragic news because nobody, as much as the people that support Diddy are so stupid and brain dead, nobody wants them to be, for there to be more victims. Nobody wants to hear this happen to someone. Everybody wants there to be justice, but in a perfect world, Diddy would be who Young Miami says he is, and we can all go about our day applauding every time he changes lives and helps the community by having Shorty Wop on the Met Gala carpet. I will say, how wild is it that for a billionaire that had disposable cash, a billionaire that literally could change lives without even breathing and wouldn't miss it, there ain't no scholarships, no building houses, no actual investment in the community past what you did. Again, I get the whole black billionaire things. There's a lot of black billionaires, okay? And there's a lot of black billionaires that are really invested. And then you have another crop of black billionaires that they figured out, yo, before other billionaires exploit my community, I'm going to be the first to exploit my community. But imagine when you are writing character references to the judge, talking about some, dear your honor. I don't know if she thought that was being cute or that was a city girl. I don't know. Or maybe she thought he was a fan. I don't know. But I do know that all you can say he did for the community that you remember is fed the homeless in 2022. And this is a billionaire. And that was the most meaningful thing he ever did in your life. You stepping foot on the Met Gala. Anyway, let's get into Deonte, because again, this is not going to bode well for Diddy's sentencing. And please believe all the evidence that was submitted by the grand jury, all the evidence that was submitted in preparation to the trial, the judge has all this available. So even though the questioning of Deonte might have focused on subject A, the judge has everything available that he actually said. All right. So this is not doing well for Diddy. And as much as Young Miami and every other girl that may or may not be on payroll, as much as his family, as much as Stephen Hill from BET, that was disappointing. As much as Dallas also wants to write these character witnesses, which, by the way, no character witness can actually point to how Diddy uplifted the black community. I'm just saying. And we've moved past the point. This ain't 1948. As a black woman with 4 black grandparents and 2 black parents, I would just like to say this ain't 1940. The idea of you existing is not an anomaly. There are plenty of black billionaires. Unfortunately, for people that like to scream all black everything but won't educate themselves as to what true black excellence is, the only black billionaire you acknowledge is the one Diddy bopping on screen, because that's as deep as the analysis goes. You see what I'm saying? There's plenty of excellence. Why are you trying to uplift this particular version of depravity? But then again, maybe that's their version of excellence. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into what Deonte had to say. And good for this cutie patootie for actually going getting justice and letting people know we're not scared of the intimidation. We're not scared of the PR. I'm not scared of suing you. And if you think that little show that your lawyers put on, all right, baby, well, I'll see you in court. Because I would expect that Deonte, now that he's suing for this, actually has real receipts. Not even to mention, Diddy let a lot of what he said go uncontested, which makes me think that it was the truth. They said Diddy is facing a stunning lawsuit ahead of his sentencing. The mogul's longtime stylist, Deonte Nash, he was also Cassie's stylist, is suing him for sexual battery, human trafficking, and more, according to new court docs obtained by TMZ. You know I'm trying to get the court docs so we can read them. If anybody knows Deonte, if I can get a copy of the court docs, I would very much appreciate it. But I am waiting for LA Superior Court to open. Okay. According to the new court docs, lawyers for Deonte claim Diddy turned his dream of becoming a celebrity stylist into a nightmare, okay? One he was forced to endure nearly every single day during roughly 10 years he worked for Diddy. The doc goes on to say, the horrors Mr. Nash experienced continue to plague him even after his employment ended. Deonte's legal team claims Diddy, through his employment, subjected him to over 10 years of sexual and physical assault, sexual and verbal harassment, trafficking, degradation, and humiliation, threats to his life and well-being, stalking, control, psychology, and manipulation. The lawsuit outlines several harrowing incidents of Diddy allegedly assaulting Deonte, including a party in 2013 and 2014 where he apparently exposed himself to Deonte in front of other employees. He also claims Diddy repeatedly groped his body in a sexual way without consent. Diddy allegedly made unwanted and inappropriate sexually charged remarks to Deonte while they worked together, with his lawyers claiming Diddy was fixated on Deonte's sexuality and brought it up constantly in front of friends and colleagues. The degrading comments, they say, left Deonte feeling objectified and uncomfortable. Now, I know the Diddy Brigade, right? When they're done cashing their Diddy stimulus package, okay? Still ain't changing their situation, but hey, I guess a check's a check. Will say, oh my God, because there's a lot of people that are acting like all this stuff is no big deal. They're acting like we do not live in the USA anymore, where we have laws, where you cannot treat. So I know the most people that have the dirtiest, most depraved minds is going to try to make it seem like this isn't a big deal. But if it's not a big deal, they wouldn't out here be on the internet mobilizing to actually get Deonte. Okay. They said Diddy allegedly used his power and threats of harm to compel Deonte to do his bidding and keep him under control. He has allegedly continued to receive threats even after his employment, and he still does not feel safe. Now, the funny thing is, I'm sure whatever threats the Diddy Brigade or people associated with Diddy, maybe by Diddy's command, maybe they just wanted to be part of the get down, because it surprises me that all these people defending Diddy, none of y'all would have been invited into his thing. None of y'all would have even been able to get into like a brunch or a New Year's Eve party or the Grammys award, because at the end of the day, Diddy is forced to literally band with a bunch of lowlifers. And the people he wants to come out and support him, well, they got some sense. They got something to lose. But the whole point of the matter is, yeah, like, what do y'all think of this? I will say this, right? Who is still threatening him? And if he does not feel safe, you can guarantee that Judge Aaron has heard about this. He testified during Diddy's trial. Listen, when asked if he was considering a civil lawsuit, he said, no, I'm focused on getting out of here. When asked if he retained counsel to consider suing Diddy, he said his lawyers were there to protect him. He's also demanding a jury trial. Okay, what that got to do with anything? I'm sure when Deonte was saying that, he felt threatened, he felt intimidated, and he really felt like justice was going to be served. Now that he sees every person for himself and Diddy's on this rehab team, I think he wants justice to be held, because as much as everybody's talking trash, the one thing they aren't saying is that Diddy didn't do any of this. They're saying he shouldn't be held accountable, but not that Diddy didn't do it. Okay? That's the funny thing. They're not saying he ain't treat Cassie like that. They're saying, oh, it wasn't illegal. They're not saying that Diddy didn't do all this crazy stuff. They are legit insisting that he just shouldn't be held accountable. Listen, I hope those drops of silver that all these people that are on the pro Diddy team, I hope they're worth it. I guess it is, but I do know that as much as they complain and as much as they try to obscure it, the truth doesn't mean any motivation. You guys, don't forget there will be a trial tomorrow for the, what do you call it? For the acquittal trial. People are expecting that it will be denied. They think that Judge Aaron is going to listen to both arguments and he'll rule on it next week, and then it's going to go into sentencing. As far as Diddy's sentencing, people are saying that the prosecution is recommending significantly more time. Diddy's team is asking for 14 months for time CERN. You know, Janice Combs is saying that, you know, her son is born again. Young Miami is out here showing bird behavior, writing nonsensical letters to the judge telling some, dear your honor. Judge, that's a good man. Go ahead. Anyway, maybe when she's done defending Diddy, she can go right for Tyler Perry. Anyway, you guys, listen, I'm going to be live later on today because I feel like we need to read all of the character witnesses' letters from the Diddy trial. I'm going on docket and getting them because, hey, right? If they had the balls to actually write it to the court, then we're going to sit there and talk about it. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully, Deonte is on his way to healing. It's sad to hear all this stuff happen to him, but congratulations for him to proving he's not ever scared. And his cutie patootie self is moving forward to get justice. And that's what we need. F what you heard. Thank God that people are not falling victim to this whole Diddy love train by a band of like low. But then again, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm gonna move on. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.